Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of the series. Today we're going to continue with the baseball pitch, part 3. So here we go. This is where we left off. This is the final result from the previous two videos, where we have all of the key poses ready, the camera is ready, but now what about the hit, right? Like we want to make sure that when we hit the camera, we get this very cool effect, right? This like motion where everything goes like blank or something. So there's a couple of things we can do. We still have several frames after the ball hits, which is this frame right here. Frame 65, I'm gonna go into the camera. Frame 65 is where the ball hits. And we still have like probably about 20 frames where the character is doing something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make the camera fall. Imagine like he hit the guy holding the camera. So the camera is gonna fall. It's gonna shake first and then it's gonna fall and lay flat on the ground, okay? So I know that my final position, and by the way here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna panels, tier of copy, to have this copy of the camera and see what the camera is doing. Because on this side, I'm gonna go into the perspective view and I wanna work from the perspective view. So there we go. So let's say from frame 65 to frame 68, frame 68 is gonna be exactly the same, but here's where we can go crazy because I can like move this down, shake it, or actually no, frame 68 is fine. Frame 66, I'm gonna move this down, shake it, and then frame 67, move this up, shake it to the other side, and then we're gonna go back. And then frame 68, let's just keep our normal rotation. So now what we're gonna have is the following. Look at this. We get this, and then boom, we get like a weird shake there, right? I think we can actually increase it a little bit. So I'm just gonna give it 2 more frames. And just move this guy a couple of frames. So we're gonna have boom, boom, boom. And then from here, from frame 70, all the way to frame, like say 78, I want the camera to fall down to the ground and lay like on the side, like this. Like this, really fall down. Here's where a ground plane would be really good. So I'm just gonna create a plane here. And let's have our ground plane. There we go. We're gonna, of course, add a little bit of that like focus thing that we did before so that we lose focus on all of the thing. And that's where like a logo or the information would appear. So we're gonna get this. But now, as you can see here, the camera falls and it's rolling at the same time. And I don't want that. And by the way, the movement here on the rotation is really bad. Remember what we did with the bouncing ball all those lessons ago? So I'm going to go into translate and let's break this tangent so that we can get a nicer, more traditional like bouncing ball fall. So now this thing is going to go like bloop and it's going to fall. And the rotation, if we go rotation, I believe is C, we don't want the rotation to be linear. We want to keep the rotation stable at first. And then we're gonna very quickly accelerate to the new like final rotation. So something like this. So we're gonna be very stable, and then at the very end, bah. Now here we can add a little bit of a bounce. So let's say frame 20 here, yeah, frame 20. We're just gonna move it up, and a couple of frames after that, move it down. And this is what we're gonna get. Nice, right? So we get this very like boom. Okay, we fall. I think that the fall is a little bit too fast, so let's just grab all of these keyframes and give it a little bit more time. And let's see how this looks. There we go. Look at that. That looks amazing. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So if we add, again, a little bit of depth of field and stuff on top of that, the camera effect is going to be really, really cool. So what I want to show you here is that cameras also do play a very important role in how we see the action for our characters, right? So don't underestimate the power of the camera. Now, let's go back to our character, which is, of course, the main focus of this lesson. And for the character, what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of the poses are as nice as possible. So for instance, here, we definitely need a little bit more help here. So let's lower this guys down. It's going to be like, okay. And then the preparation. Okay, we start with this first phrase. So remember, whenever I work, and this is my personal preference, I like to do it bit by bit. Because if you try to see the whole animation as a one complete unit, you get like very, very quickly demotivated because it's just too much, right? So in here, I can see that he's moving, as you can see, he's moving the feet and his center of weight at the same time. And I would expect him to move the hip first and then the feet. So I'm just going to grab the feet here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delay this thing a couple of frames. Or actually, like this two guys, let's just move them 1 frame forward. So now what's going to happen is the hip's going to move first, or actually no, wait, I think I'm doing it wrong. Give me just 1 second, let's see. Really? Did we not have all of this? Oh no, it's the animation here. There we go. Okay, so frame 44 to frame 51. So I do know that I want this foot to be all the way up here at frame 51. That's of course a given. But what I'm gonna do is, for instance, instead of moving or delaying, I'm just gonna go to frame like 48, and I'm gonna move this foot still like low here. Like maybe he's just like barely moving his feet up like this. Got it? So that is also gonna make it seem like he's taking a little bit longer to raise the foot. So the hip's gonna have this very nice continuous motion, but the foot's gonna take a little bit longer just because of this extra keyframe that I just added there, and it's gonna give me this very nice look over here. What else can we do? I think we can do the same thing for that. Now the hands actually, I would like the hands to be there faster. So they're very low here, and then they're really high here. So what I can do is, for instance, on frame 48, from frame 48 to frame 51, as you can see, there's a little bit of a distance. So I like this position of the hands, the positions on frame 50. So I'm just gonna grab these two elements, middle mouse click frame 48 and hit S. So now the hands are really fast or really quickly gonna move up there, and then it's gonna be very slow movement there until we get to frame 53. This is what we talked about before when we were doing the, what animation was that? I just forgot. The Hadouken, right? The Hadouken. So I'm pushing the poses such that in the in-betweens, we're favoring one pose rather than the other one. And that's going to give me a little bit of an offset there without actually having to offset, because I'm just pushing these poses before they actually need to happen. So you can see that. See how he very quickly raises his arms there? That's very cool. It's like a snap, like, there we go. We launch. And boom, in a very nice movement, he just very quickly raises the arms, and just in a matter of a second, there we go. We launch the element. Now, this one right here, this I would say is a very weak pose, even though it is right, because if we take a look at the character, it is kind of right. If we take a look at the whole thing, we have this very nice, strong, like, I'm about to launch this thing. And then we have this very nice, like, woof, there goes the ball. And then we have this, like, what? So why not, again, favor the before pose? Or, like what we have here, let's make it seem like he's really exerting a lot of pressure here. Okay, so now we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's going to make it look a lot nicer. Here's where I would start going into the motion trail things again. So I'm going to go visualize, editable motion trail, and let's see what this thing is doing. So here it's very soft curves, that's fine. But then here, frame 58, I think I would like to push this arc a little bit like higher up, and 59, and now 60 right there. There we go. So now we're gonna get this boom, this very nice fast arc right there on the top of the hit. And now look at this. See how what I did a couple of minutes ago, or I think it was the last session where we were adjusting this hand. Without even seeing the motion trail, we can already see how an arch really benefits the whole thing. Now here, he moves the hand forward, he moves it down a little bit. I think I would like to keep this going like up. Again, not super necessary, that's fine. These are just like normal movements that I would expect the character to do. But here, we want to have like a more natural pose, so let's bring him down. Let's take a look at the whole thing. I'm going to turn off the curves, and I'm going to turn off the legs for now. There we go, look at that. Perfect. So the right arm, I would say the right arm is ready. I don't think we need to modify the right arm anymore. I think it's looking very nice. The launch, the throw looks very dynamic, very organic. So we're doing good there. Now let's focus on the left arm, which it's a simple arm because it doesn't have as much things. So I'm just gonna go here, and we're gonna do visualize, create the editable motion trail. Let's see what this arm is doing. So I can already see some problems here. See how it goes like up and down in the same sort of like place. So I don't necessarily like that. Let's see here. For instance, here, this is a very weird position. So I'm just gonna bring this arm like down, probably closer to the character. There we go, something like this. I like that pose. That one's fine. Now here's where we're starting to get some issues. So I'm gonna push this thing a little bit further out. And then for instance here, let's really use this hand to balance ourselves a little bit more. Let's move the hand as well so that we don't have the exact same movements. Then here, we kind of continue the movement, continue the arch. I'm sorry if I always say arch. I think it's arc, but I don't know why I keep saying arch. So just keep moving the arc there. And then here, as you can see, this is a very straight line. So let's just keep this guy back here. So we have this nice curve where the arm is just like coming back down, but in a nice way, right? Like we don't want things to flow weirdly. Because this is like a snap. It kind of like crashes with something there and just keep moving. So instead of that, I'm just gonna try to find the middle point, and I'm gonna push frame 65. There we go. See that? So now the arm is gonna roll, and in a very fast movement, he's gonna just do that, and then fall down. And again, I don't want to go just from here, from frame 73, all the way to frame 87 in just like this straight motion. We want everything to be a little bit nicer. So if we go here, right around frame 80, I would say, we can start like pushing this closer to the final position, just to create a little bit of an arc there. And again, frame 73. We might want to polish this. Let's go frame 69. Now we also don't want to do things that don't look natural. Everything should look or be as natural as possible. So I think that looks good. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks good. Yep, I like it. I like it. In general, I think the upper torso right now is looking very good. If he was like a ghost or something, there's a little bit of a weird movement there. You see that? See that? It's like his whole body is up, and then remember why I always tell you guys never to leave the thing like fully extended, because then we see that like a clicking of the shoulder, and I don't like that. So just move that thing a little bit forward or up. There we go. It's just that. So IKs tend to cause that. It's something that I encounter frequently, where if you push the curve of the IK all the way to the very edge of the motion, then you get like this lock on the pole vector, like on the elbow or the knees, and it looks like something's clicking into place. It looks very, very weird. So I tend to always leave a little bit of a bend on the IKs to make sure that doesn't happen. There we go. That looks good. Kind of want to move the hand a little bit. I mean, the reason I'm not moving that hand as much is because I'm imagining that he has a glove, so that's why it's pretty static. But I think we can, like, probably do something here, like maybe open up the hand a little bit, because otherwise it looks a little bit weird that the fingers never move, right? So there we go. That's it's a little bit of an extra movement that really helps the whole thing. Now, animation is one of those things that, again, some people don't like. They might say they want to learn animation, but once they actually learn how it is done, since it's a very repetitive task and we need to see and explore and evaluate everything so many times, a lot of people end up giving up. So that's fine. If animation is something that you don't really enjoy, it's fine. But hopefully with all of the lessons that I've showed you, animation has become a little bit more manageable, and you understand the general principles of it, and you can enjoy the whole process. So let me now turn off the arms, and let's turn on the legs. And now we're gonna see the legs. We can even like turn off the whole body, like the upper body, so that we can concentrate on this part right here. So let's get rid of this motion trail. Let's save real quick. Let's take a look at the animation on the legs. So I think we're not far off, but there are certain details that look a little bit off. So this first idle is perfect. That rising of the foot looks very good, but there's a little bit of overlaps and things that we can definitely like change. So let's go again, little by little. So here's the first deal. I want, again, if we take a look at the animations, let's really focus on all of these frames right here. This is the place, and then we land. And I probably want to land a little bit earlier. So this is where I would probably do a little bit of overlap. So I'm just going to push this guy's one frame before this so that we get there and then the hip gets there. See that? So we create this very nice like pointy feet. Now you can see here on the actual element, it's not a pointy feet, it's more like a step, which is fine because we've already done the offset. So we go from here to here to here. And then here, for instance, I think it would be nice to add just a little bit of like a foot roll. Like this. I'm not sure if on the reference we have it, but it just looks nice. So we're gonna have boom. Now see how the leg starts moving in a very weird way here? Very important that we keep everything as nice as possible. So I would expect this to go in this direction. Again, motion trails. So visualize, editable motion trail. Let's see what's going on here. So we start there, we go here, and then we do this. So this flip right here, it's a very bizarre flip, as you can see, because the knee is doing something very weird. If we were to get this pose, we would break the leg of the character. So we definitely need to fix the knee rotation here, to always keep the knee facing towards the same rotation as the foot, like what we have here. There we go. Look at that. Always facing on the proper direction. Always facing on the proper direction. Now here, again, I would expect to see like a little bit of a toe. So I think here, for instance, on this frame, I would push the toe so that it's flat on the ground. So he lands with the tip of the foot right here. And then we need to be very careful here because this foot would actually be back here, right? Because we just landed and flattened the feet like that. And that means that from here, we just middle mouse click and we copy the same position so that we get that. So now the feet moves down, 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 lands, and then we just snap very quickly. It's a very quick motion there. Let's see how this looks. Now that point here, this high point might be a little bit too high. So again, with the motion trail, we can organize a little bit more so that the movement is not as bad. Here the knee, very important again. Like move the knee so that it follows a nice arc. And there we go. Let's take a look at the whole thing. And let's see how this looks. Okay, now the knee rises very fast there. I'm not sure if I changed something. Like this position is very fast. We go from here. Yeah, I think we messed up right here, right? Remember? Yeah, so let's just delete this pose right here. No, that was right. Ah, okay. No, but we did add the delay. I mean, we can give it a little bit more time because I feel like from here to here it's really fast. So I'm just gonna grab the whole thing again. Now this might mess up the cameras and everything else, so that's a little bit annoying. One thing we could do though, since we still have space on this side, a little bit of space, let's just give it a couple of frames over here. So the idle is gonna be a little bit faster, but everything else is gonna or should remain the same? Here, very important. Oop. Where's that? There we go. That looks better. Yep, let's turn off the frames here. There we go. Now, finally, we're almost ready to finish this animation. I'm going to stop the video right here, guys, because we're already at the 20-minute mark. Make sure you keep polishing. We're going to have one more video where I'm going to take a look at some of the poses, because I think we can definitely exaggerate some of them a little bit more just to get like this very nice effect overall. It's going to be a little bit stylized and cartoonish, but I think it's going to be really, really cool. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.